Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm back with another message you to hear right now. Let's hop right into it and find out what message your angels have for you today. From the jump, I am hearing that your reputation is divinely protected. I do feel like a lot of you guys may stress about the people talking badly about you. Some of you are worried about people ruining relationships or opportunities for you. But at the end of the day, anyone that's meant to be on your path will stay there if they can see through the BS. I also feel like a lot of divine unions get tested in this way. So if you're in a situation with somebody and they refuse to see the truth, that's on them. I do feel like, again, God does test the people in your life. So if you feel like you are losing people due to other people's bad influences, that is really not your problem. Sometimes what you need to do is take a step back and allow those people to go through the lessons and see what they need to see. And if they never do, then they're not meant to be on your path. I also feel like you guys are in a season right now of finding so much inner peace that you really stop slowing down to defend yourself against certain people. And I do feel like that bothers certain individuals. Like maybe at certain points in your life, you used to want to defend yourself or at least prove your point, but you stopped doing that. Like if someone is going to question you, you're just going to take a step back now and realize that you don't need to explain yourself a million times over. You don't need to keep defending your point. Like people should see your heart and your intentions. I also feel like in certain relationships, people have known you for so long, so they could see through your behavior that you do have morals, you do have integrity. So again, this is your reminder to not try to slow down or prove yourself to people. What I'm actually hearing is that you got a few people pressed that you don't even really seem to care that they are saying things about you or slandering you anymore. So maybe there was a situation where you cared about somebody in this scenario and what they thought of you because you wanted to maybe help this person or help them see that maybe they're around bad influences. But now you're realizing that if they refuse to see the truth about you, maybe there's something about them that they need to work on and it has nothing to do with you. I also feel like if they are in situations where people are in their ear about certain things, especially you, they're probably in their ear about other things as well. And I do feel that some people really need to learn in this lifetime to release the need for other people's approval and other people's validation. I do feel like at times we're all in situations where we care about somebody and we kind of allow them to influence us because we want them to be happy. But there are certain people who really take that to the next level and sacrifice the things that they want or even convince themselves that they don't want something anymore because other people got into their head. And I feel right now that you guys could be dealing with a situation like this or release a situation like this. And what I'm hearing is that you no longer are too worried or concerned with defending yourself because you know God is going to do that for you. And again, I do feel like there are certain situations where people want to come back into your life so that you kind of prove yourself to them, and you're not doing any of that. I do feel that there are people that haven't really elevated, but they still want access to you. So they could still be coming in with a cautious energy because other people could have gotten to their head about you, but they still are drawn towards you. And again, I just feel like you guys don't really want to be confused right now in this season of your life. So if it's confusing you, then it's not from God right now is what I'm sensing. Even if you do feel like that connection could be beneficial right now or in the future, or that person does have something to offer, or you see their potential. If someone is coming in with confused energy and they're not leading you to any clarity or any direction in that relationship, you're just gonna have to take a step back. And I feel again that there's just so many situations that you guys have gone through where people wanted to hurt you guys and other people have witnessed it. So you have those relationships in your life with people that support you and see that. So why can't certain people see that? You get what I'm saying? I also feel for some of you who do feel like you don't have that type of support, more supportive people are coming onto your path if you continue forward. I also sense that some of you may be hard on yourself because I don't want to say these people have gotten into your head in terms of actually convincing you of anything that isn't true. But what I do feel sometimes that you were in certain relationships where people have gotten to your head and made you question yourself enough where you want to repair these relationships or maybe consider some of the things that these people are saying about you as true and try to fix them. But what you're going to come to find out, or maybe you did come to find out in a certain connection, that you can correct every single thing that these people say is wrong about you or something about your behavior they don't like. You could change every single thing about yourself, but they're still going to find a problem. And that's what I'm seeing coming through here. So you could have had a situation like this, or you're going through something like this where you're like, okay, so let me just see if I am the problem here. Let me fix this. Let me work on that. But the outcome is still the same. And that's kind of your answer, that it's not you. You're not the problem. As much as these people want to point their finger at you and say, you need to fix this. You need to change this. There's a strong energy coming in today of my collective here. You guys know who you are. And it's going to be really hard for you guys to cater your energy to people who don't know who they are. And there is relationships that you guys are experiencing where this person is one way one day and then a different way the next day, and you don't really know what to make of that. And I feel that has something to do with you again. Like, you're probably asking yourself, okay, what did I do today to make them act like this versus yesterday? But the truth is that these people are still susceptible to the energies or influences around them. And if some of you guys believe in spiritual warfare, then there are certain people that are still listening to negative energies, vibrations, they're feeding into it, and they're reacting accordingly, according to their fears, according to their traumas or whatever, instead of actively wanting to work on things with you. And also, these people really should approach their relationships with you with communication instead of maybe going to other people or, again, feeding into their fear or running away. So yeah, some of you guys are in a situation right now where you want to work on things with somebody, but they always run off, or especially when you hold them accountable. And I just feel like, again, these people may not realize it, or this person may not realize it, but the reason why they're so skittish around you and fearful around you is not because of you. It's actually because of the fact that you are elevating to a certain point where they have to acknowledge certain things about themselves, the people around them, the circumstances around them, to be around you. So again, this could be friendship, soulmate connections. These are people that, again, you could really love and care about and want the best for, but you're not going to let their lack of clarity and growth affect your life and affect where you're at now. And what I'm sensing as well is that some of you may have been experiencing a higher level of spiritual warfare, or people just saying stuff about you, or conflicting situations, and it's because you are elevating. And I do feel the interesting part about where you guys are at now is that maybe in the past, like, because you had some aspects of yourself that were unhealed, people were, again, able to trigger you or get into your head, and you doubted yourself for a second or a moment. But I kind of see this energy where you guys are kind of calm and still. I mean, you still have emotions and feelings on these situations, but you're just like kind of like taking a step back and be like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely not the problem here, because I've tried everything under the sun to make this relationship work, to help you, to convince you of something or whatever, or you guys get you guys get the idea why I can't even talk. I'm hearing drift. I don't know. Somebody could like cards, because I'm seeing drifting. I don't know why that came through. Anyways, back to the message. But yeah, drifting came through, and I think that drifting could be like a metaphor for like some of these people just drifting through life and not in control of their own life. Like, they're not in the steering wheel of their own life. So you can't expect somebody who's not in the steering wheel of their own life to properly drive you or lead you. And this is especially for my people out there who are dating, right? Like, especially my women out there who expect, masculine energy to lead or to be that person for them. But they're only going to run you into circles or confuse you if they don't have a clear direction in their life about who they are. And what I'm hearing as well is that you guys definitely are, God is tuning up the discernment, okay, guys? So I know this could be very uncomfortable for a lot of you, but this is exactly what's going on in your life. You could be knowing things about people quicker and faster than you did before. And again, a lot of you guys kind of resent this about yourself because it seems to be affecting your relationships, where you can kind of see when things aren't going to work out, or you see where someone's struggling, or you also see that somebody's being influenced badly. And sometimes the message is not to convince these people of what you're seeing or experiencing. Sometimes it's just to show you that you got to keep it moving because these people aren't ready. So your discernment is definitely being tuned, I'm hearing as well. Another reason why it's being tuned is because you are doing a really great job separating energies from your life and figuring out, okay, what is my fear? What is my anxiety? What is my trauma? What is my personal wants and needs versus what does God want for me? What is my path? Because, I talk about this too, especially to people like in my personal life, because I do feel sometimes like people don't realize that when you are a spiritual person or you are here doing spiritual work, there could be a bit of a separation between you in your personal life versus like you in your work life or your spiritual life. And sometimes I do feel a division between, okay, what does, Alice want versus like, what does God want for me? And I have to sometimes separate that because sometimes it doesn't really align. Like, there are times where I had a dream to help a friend and I had personal doubts like in myself that they were gonna, like, it was gonna be good for me to get involved in that, but I dreamt it and then I did it, and then, it ended up working out. But there has been a lot of situations where, Alice, the person, wanted to help somebody so badly when God is showing me, just let them go. Like, don't save them, they don't want to be saved. You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes hard to differentiate between people that we want to help versus people that God wants us to help. And healing and being in tune with yourself spiritually means being able to separate your personal feelings and emotions. And there are times where I don't really want to help somebody, but God is telling me, you got to help this person. And I'm not saying I don't want to help people, but there's certain times in my life where I'm burnt out and I'm spent and I'm like, God, I don't even have like much to give right now. But God has a bigger plan and knows that that little bit of effort or help that you give somebody is going to last long term, or even repay you in the future too as well. Not that we do things to help people in the future, but there are certain times where you're going to be called to help people and it's going to make no logical sense, and it's not going to make sense to people around you either. But you're like, you know what, I got to do it. But I also feel that some of you can feel really stuck because you do feel like God is calling you to help somebody, but also you feel like they're not listening or they're not hearing you. So, I'm tapping into that energy today because I feel that there could be a bit of a confusion going on in your energy, which is definitely not your energy, which is someone else's energy, where you may have a strong spiritual connection to someone where they are still yearning for you and needing to be around you, needing to grow together and whatever, but they're refusing to do that. And maybe some of you guys are concerned that, it's just not worth it. And again, there's going to be certain relationships where you got to take a step back from, whether it be months or years. And unfortunately, sometimes the most growth comes from relationships where you accept that they're over, and then all of a sudden that's where the transformation begins. And there's also kind of an energy here where we don't want to get in a toxic mentality that if something is difficult, we just throw it away and then move on to the next. Because I feel like that's another end of toxicity. And I feel that it's hard to say because there's so many situations where you love someone so much, but the message is to let go and find new and better, and God will have a replacement for you, and so on and so forth. But there are certain situations where God is calling you to be patient and, wait it out. And especially in relationships with people where, you are tied to them, like family members or people that you have some kind of long-term soul contract with, it's going to be hard for you to just throw that away. And it also, there's a lot of times where you have spent so much time and energy on that person's situation that your ego doesn't want to throw it away, even though you're being called to do that. So, we're going to look into it a little bit more and see what the message is. We got the Fool here. By the way, guys, the decks that you see here today are available in my mystery boxes. I'll leave the link below. You guys can also donate if you are feeling generous. And you guys can also check me out on Patreon. I have so many videos on there, guys. It really supports my channel. If you like what I'm doing here. Also, if you're new here, welcome. This collective channel is just about helping you guys on your path and what you're dealing with, and it can be hard. I really know it can be super hard having gifts and just seeing things and experiencing things. And not only that, when you are somebody who is trying to do good onto the world, you always get that backlash. And it's unfortunate that it's like you guys are the black sheep in situations where you don't even really, you want to step in and help, and then everyone directs their negativity and anger onto you because you are that energy signifying change and transformation. And again, there's such a thin line between certain people thinking that they're helping situations and doing the right thing, but they're not. So what does that have to do with this message? I think that you guys are in a situation where someone thinks they're doing the right thing, but they're doing the wrong thing because they think they're doing the right thing because they're trying to appease or sacrifice for something that they're not meant to be making peace with or sacrificing, if that makes sense. So it's almost again, that's why right and wrong is so much of a gray area, because if somebody is sacrificing their relationship with you to appease somebody else because they think that's the right thing to do, make somebody else happy, yeah, honestly, genuinely speaking, making someone else happy doesn't sound like a bad thing, right? But if making someone else happy and going out of their way and rushing around to appease somebody else is getting in the way of things that they want or things that they're being called to, then it's going to be a problem for them long term. And yeah. There's just going to be situations where people do not want to face their fears, and they don't want to deal with the repercussions of standing up for something they believe in, or standing up for someone they believe in, or if they were truly in their power, they wouldn't have to pick a side. That's what I'm picking up on. But it's because they still feel like they need to validate one person or the other, appease one person or the other. So that's why I really feel like you guys are on this new energy of not really trying to convince anyone of anything or making anyone on your side, because we already lost if we're thinking of things of my side or your side, or right versus wrong. No, we're just seeing things in the terms of we're elevating right now. And if somebody can't be in my life anymore because they are being dragged in different directions, that is confusing my energy and making me not at peace, then so be it. Or they're bringing energies and situations into my life. If someone hasn't maintained the proper boundaries in their life to have a relationship with you, then those lack of boundaries are going to affect your relationships. And again, you guys are more divinely protected than you even imagine. So there's going to be situations where you think someone doesn't want to work things out with you, or someone is running away, when really they're being pushed out by God, by your angels, because what they can't offer you what you need right now in this moment in time. And it's like somebody is just working overtime trying to appease the wrong person or the wrong situation, and that's why they are living in fear or boredom or stagnancy. That's also why they could still be in your energy field or chasing after you or whatever. We got destination, groom. We got success and pride. Message, okay. Attraction. Another thing I do want to say is that one thing I do want to remember to tell you guys is that when you are a light worker and a healer, chosen one, whatever it is you guys consider yourself, and if you know, you know, a lot of people are going to be attracted to you guys. A lot of people. And it's up to you guys to pick and choose who you want to help, who you want to spend time with. But it's going to become very clear who's actually meant to be in your life versus who's not. And I just feel that there are certain people who haven't really figured out how to separate the energy of people that are working against them versus what is truly for them, because of the fact that sometimes the right choice isn't the easiest choice. So we have to face the reality that some people don't want to put in the work, and that's a hard pill to swallow. But that being said, they still want the feelings and the high and your validation too, even though they're still running around trying to appease everyone, everything else that isn't for them. And that could be anything from, being materialistic and showing off, to choosing the wrong friend group, to letting their family influence them badly, or being in situations where they don't need to fully cut people off, or they don't need to fully really change their life crazy amounts like they think that they do. All they really need to do is just learn how to center and ground themselves away from the opinions and energies of others. And if it's more of a spiritual battle, then get a close relationship with God and truly pray and see the clarity about what they need to remove from their life in order to gain that clarity and to heal. So it just looks like there's somebody here who deep down still has this crazy attraction to you. They want to message you, all these things, but their energy is all over the damn place. Love doesn't feel like enough. And love is never going to be enough if someone doesn't love themselves enough to do what's right for their own life, never mind for what's right for you. So this is your reminder, guys, if you're in a situation with somebody who isn't treating you right, and you feel like it's because of the fact that they are being influenced, or they can't be their own person, or they're not strong enough to admit how they feel or face their feelings, none of that has anything to do with you. That has everything to do with their lack of loving themselves. And when you look at it that way, you can get a little bit more peace within yourself that, you know what, this person just truly isn't happy with themselves, and that's why they don't even know what they're feeling or what their emotions are, because it's so clouded by other people's opinions and expectations and obligation and sacrifice that they don't really need to be doing. And I understand doing the right thing based upon sacrifice and obligation, but there are so many people that have digged themselves into situations they don't even really need to be in, and you coming into their life is a representation of some kind of clarity or truth. And that's, again, a hard thing for people to face, because your romantic connections, your friendships, even your family relationships can sometimes be turbulent based on the fact that you see something within this person that they're not seeing within themselves. And I also want to shed some light here on spiritual narcissism today, because I feel that some of you guys have had relationships with people that have used God or spirituality as a way to shame you even, or justify their actions when those two things don't align. Like, I feel like with people, you really got to look at what they're preaching and how they're living their life. And you also got to look at consistency, because one thing I've noticed about people too as well is that anyone can say that about even me, right? Like, oh, Alice is going on here and thinks she's right about everything. Or when I call something out for someone else I care about. But one thing that I feel in my life personally is that when I have a message, it never really truly changes, like from day to day or month to month. Like, I could be telling a person the same message they heard a year ago and they still don't want to hear it. Like, there's a consistency in the messages that you're saying, because you're not just preaching just to preach or speak just to speak. Like, you're getting a message very clear. That's another thing about gifts too as well. I know a lot of you guys experience the same thing where you can't just get a message or on demand. Like when you get the message, you got to deliver it, but you don't always have the answers. But when you do know something, you know it. And when you do something, you see it. And some of you guys are going to be shown something with your physical eye or experience something very real that basically nobody can even argue with you about, but people are going to tell you that they don't see that or that's not true. And there's really nothing you can do about that besides release it. But I wanted to shed a light on spiritual narcissism because I feel that some of you guys have been in relationships or connections with people who are like that, and you fear that you're like that too. But the truth is that, number one, you're not getting a high off of telling somebody what to do or how to be. Like, if anything, a lot of you guys rather avoid that because it's uncomfortable. And number two, most of you guys are delivering messages you wish weren't true. Like, you wish you weren't right about. Like, if you see somebody's out to get you or around somebody, or somebody is hurting somebody you care about, I hope I'm wrong about this, but this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm seeing, and this is what's holding you back. And that's what I'm picking up on. But the reason why I'm saying this is because somebody around you could be around a spiritual narcissist or have some elements of that within themselves, where unfortunately when some people do have spiritual gifts, it can actually cloud them a little bit when they're not grounded, or when they can't decide for themselves or understand that there is still a difference between their personal opinions, their personal feelings, and their personal experiences and what they want versus what they're being told or what it is that they are meant to be doing. Another thing on top of that is that just because someone has spiritual gifts doesn't mean they're following God or a higher path or has good intentions. So yeah, you guys could have dealt with people that did have gifts, but they were not using them properly, or they were selectively using them, or they actually have cut them off completely now and is only listening to their ego. And the reason why I'm saying this is because there could be a situation going on here where you really can't say nothing to some of these people because they're so convinced that they're right. And maybe someone around you has someone like this, or you know someone like this. And when someone's caught up in all that, they're just going to convince themselves that they are right, and there's no really going back and forth with that. And I also feel that in this connection too as well, like, no amount of love that you give somebody is going to be enough for them to break whatever it is that they need to see in order to be the right person for you, whether it's a friend or whatever it is. So, because there's situations going on here where you guys were deeply hurt by people, and you're like, I don't get it. Like, if they got a connection to God, or if they're praying, or if they're, in tune, or if they're a spiritual worker themselves, why are they not seeing this? Like, why are they not seeing this for themselves? And part of the reason is that maybe, again, they're being manipulated, or number two, they're not as in tune as they think that they are. And I'm not here to sound narcissistic and diss anybody else's gifts here. What I'm trying to say is that some of you guys struggle with this because you're pretty sure about what God's telling you. You're pretty sure about, what you're hearing and what you're experiencing, and why is somebody else experiencing the complete opposite as you? And I feel some of you guys may actually experience this on a larger scale, like when you're watching videos online and you're like, this person's saying they're in tune with something, but I'm not feeling the same thing they're feeling about this topic or situation. And that being said, some of you guys can really have beloved, preachers or people you look up to, people of God, and some of their moments, they can have still a little moment of judgment or a little moment of not being right about something. And this is also a message never to follow anybody blindly, because everybody's going to have their flaws, even me. Like, I'm not right about everything. Of course I'm not. No one is, right? But there are certain moments where we look up to someone, or we appreciate someone, we love them, and we take their word as God. And the only word as God is God's word. And the only true answers you're going to get is by God showing you and revealing that to you himself. Not even from me, or not even from anybody, not a tarot card reader, nothing, right? The reason why I'm saying this is because I feel that some of you guys could be dealing with a lot of confusion right now, just because you could be receiving conflicting messages, maybe in your community or at church or around certain people. Even me, there's certain times where I'm always constantly learning and growing, so I don't ever want to say I'm 100% right about anything. So I do consume a lot of information. I study a lot of things. I like to learn a lot of things, but there's just certain moments where I'm being told, just tune out and just, don't try to understand everything at once, because you can be receiving a lot of conflicting messages. I also feel like some of you guys are receiving conflicting messages about this relationship or situation, because you are, maybe reading a lot of, just praying a lot about it, trying to find the answers, pulling a lot of cards, watching a lot of videos. And what I'm truly seeing here is that if you're that confused, you already have your answer. If they're confusing you this much, you already have your answer. Does that make sense? Because if they were meant to be doing what they're meant to be doing, you wouldn't even be questioning it. You wouldn't even be needing to find the answer when the answer is right in front of us. If they were doing the work to bring peace into your life, then you would have it. And I'm not saying for the moments that they spent with you, because some people, they're really great at putting up an illusion or being great when they show up, but that doesn't mean that they can withhold this persona. And I also feel like there's an element of, you know, that being in people that are a bit, you know, I don't want to say narcissistic, but yeah, certain narcissistic people, they're really good at showing a good face, but then, you know, mask is coming off. And you guys could experience a situation with people where they're putting on a really good face, but behind closed doors is a completely different story, or someone you're dealing with is dealing with someone who's like this. And that person could be very influential and very convincing. And yeah, so there's something going on here where somebody could be convinced that their love for you just isn't enough. And it actually is. It actually is enough. Love is always enough, but we don't just need love to make something work. We need awareness, we need connection with God, and we need love for ourselves first before anything else. And if they are still broken and they're still needing validation or fearing of being alone or fearing the repercussions of making a choice in their life, then they don't really deserve a space in your life. They don't deserve a space in your life. Look, I'm seeking revenge. Oh, wow. I'm depressed. Seeking revenge. I want you, but I shouldn't. I think you're amazing. Love will keep us together. Like, how is love not enough, but then love will keep us together? So somebody here is definitely living in two worlds, okay? They need to break free of some kind of confusion. My intentions are pure. Okay, is this the same person? I'm still healing. I messed up. Effed up. I think you're very talented. I don't feel ready. Every song reminds me of you. Yeah, somebody's definitely either creating an off balance in their own life by whatever it is they're doing with the Magician here. So that can also represent some spiritual manipulation. Or they got someone around them that is manipulating them. Another thing I do want to say too is some people do have this gift of like spiritually manipulating people, but they're not even like, they may not even be saying anything. It's an energy. And I you know, I'm not going to go too deep about it, but it just seems like somebody here is being manipulated away from their relationship with you. And you know, I mean, at the end of the day, it's really on them if they don't want to see it. So yeah, it could be somebody that has blocked you out. The Emperor here. But one thing I do want to say too as well is that, you know, there's so many times where like we don't want to feel like we are telling someone how to be or who to be or what to do or who to hang out with, because we don't like anybody doing that to us or something like that, right? But there is something going on here where I think that in this situation that whatever this is holding this person back from being this emperor over here. Not just their relationship with you, but being the best version of themselves. I also feel like some of you guys, this could be a family member or a friend that wants like an emperor in their life, but they're choosing to act in the ways that aren't healthy or being in an energy that isn't healthy. And honestly, for some of you guys, this is a spiritual message because, you know, we live in this day and age of like people thinking, you know, I'm just going to manifest everything. I'm God, da, da, da. But sometimes we really don't give up and surrender to God. So it's like, you know, this person could be, oh, I'm gonna manifest this, and I want someone, and I want this, and I want that, and they're not even paying attention to, you know, what God has planned for them, and they're trying to force things to happen their way instead of God's way, or yeah, they don't trust that if they just surrender, that the things that they need and want are gonna come right to them. So yeah, I just feel that maybe somebody here has been kind of like false teaching, some hearing. Or yeah, and honestly guys, this does have to do with spirituality too as well. I feel like this could be about a situation where somebody is being led into a certain way of thinking that is leading them away from a closer relationship with you, but also a closer relationship with God too as well. And again, the reason why I'm saying spiritual narcissism is because I don't want you guys to also feel like, okay, a close relationship with me is always a close relationship with God. No, sometimes people are just meant to go their way and you're meant to go your way, and you have different paths, and it's not meant to be. But that's not the case here is what I'm saying. But I always want to put that in there because it's like, it's kind of hard for you to say to this person, oh, we could be so much closer. You know, God can make us much closer if you just drop this behavior. Like, you're not going to want to say that to somebody. And even if they feel like they're in tune or they're spiritual or they're powerful, then they're not going to want to hear you. And I think you're really truly dealing with an individual here who thinks that they are in their power when they're not. And that's a really hard person to deal with because, like, it's just, yeah, because some of these energies, like, they don't even realize are influencing them, or they're being influenced wrongly and they're not seeing it. Yeah, you guys could be dealing with somebody that changed when they joined a certain community, or they changed once they started consuming a certain content or following a certain person. And everybody knows that, like, you're not really supposed to follow anybody blindly. You're supposed to just go inward. And even here, like, I always tell you guys this, like, I have certain people that, like, they've come to my videos or Patreon and they leave and they move on with their life and they don't really watch videos anymore, but they got what they need and they left. Like, I'd rather that than sometimes people feeling like they need to be glued to every single thing I'm saying, because I don't mind if you guys do, but more as inspiration for you guys to make your own choices and be empowered. Not that you need anything from anybody. And I think that that's kind of the thing here. Like, you don't need anything from anybody and you're at peace within yourself. And I just feel like there's somebody here who needs still to be feeding some kind of energies. I have no idea, like, this is making sense to a lot of you guys, but I feel like the thing that it varies, like, they need their opinions to be validated by other people, or they need someone else to validate their own opinions. And again, we also live in the age of the internet where our algorithm can actually support our false beliefs. So that's why it's hard sometimes to grow out of a certain mentality, because we have people here that can Google something and it tell them that they're right when they're not. You know, we live in a society where people could consume a certain content that is leading them the wrong way or in a wrong mentality, and there is no 100% right or wrong, even in you know, whether it's the church or a spiritual community or dating or coaching or any line of work. So somebody's being manipulative or manipulated by false teachings, and you are kind of serving, or someone is a false teacher straight up that you know this is straightly about them, and you guys kind of peep this and you know this. But the thing that makes you guys very interesting in this scenario is that you have elevated out of arguing with people and you have elevated out of needing their validation. So you make this person very uneasy because you're not trying to prove your point to them anymore. You're not trying to preach to them anymore. You're not really trying to do anything to them anymore. Hey, you could be agreeing with them. All right, sure, whatever, you know. I got no business arguing with you about that. You know, like, it's kind of like you're in your power right now, and it's so unsettling because you're at peace with yourself and what you know and your relationship with God. And I think that you don't really need anything external to validate 100% of who you are and what you're here to do. And you don't need anyone out there to 100% agree with you on anything. And I don't need you guys 100%. I have sometimes people comment, oh, I don't really agree with this or this, Alice, but I still love you. It's like, you know, you don't need to agree with me on everything. God made us all different for a reason. And the thing is that, like, if we're wasting time arguing with people instead of making peace with them, then we are giving into that negativity and that energy. And also, here's the thing I want to say too as well. You could be dealing with someone who knows someone around them is manipulative or doing something bad, but by being around this person, they could be influenced, or they could also be enabling, and that energy could be affecting yours, because that's not what you guys are here to do. Also, George is blocking my light. George, can you move? Because I need the people to see the cards. Okay, fine, whatever. We're gonna read in the dark now. Because my eyes are going, it's your fault. And also, I rebuke that energy because I'm not gonna speak that into existence. I can see and I can see very well. I gotta replace it with a positive affirmation. Okay. We got the wisdom keeper here. Yeah, okay. Somebody doesn't like you guys straight up. Someone does not like you guys. But they're also obsessed and infatuated with you because you truly got this Hierophant in you. Like, I'm surprised the card didn't come up yet, but like, that's kind of what I'm seeing. You truly got this, like, this true divine messenger thing going on. And it ain't like an ego thing. It ain't some days you're on, some days you're off. It ain't I'm a magician, let me pull something out of my hat type of vibe. No, it's truly just hey, God told me this. let me go back to work though, because I don't want any problems. Like, it's truly like almost like you don't even want to be here type of stuff, but God put you there and you're like, okay, you know what I mean? There's just such I don't give an F what you do with this information or not. I'm just telling you this. Like, this is what's coming across in your energy right now. And maybe some of you guys, it's not really like you don't want to be like this, but it's almost because you're tired of it. You're tired of arguing. Like, you know, you've been there, done that. I know a lot of you guys are super passionate about the issues or the purposes that you feel like God has put you here to do. But you realize that, you know, you catch more flies with honey. Is that expression? I had like an ex that told me that once, which is funny. I was like, screw you. Anyways, I think about that sometimes. And in that case, no, like that person wanted to be like, I feel like sometimes people want you to be sweet and kind to situations where you're not meant to be there. And that's not what I'm talking about. But I am talking about the fact that sometimes if you just smile and just move on with your life, there's a power in that, you know, because people already know that you're not agreeing with what they're doing because you're not around them and you told them already. So what else can you say or do about it? I think you guys may have met somebody too who could be powerful and influential, but very different than you guys and doing something wrong. And maybe they learned later on who you were or what you believed in, and it unnerved them because they're like, okay, this person is like against what I am. Like, why didn't they not try to argue with me? Like, there are certain people here who may be realizing about themselves that they love to argue. They love to be right. They don't actually want peace. But the weirdest thing that has happened here is that, like, why do they feel peaceful with you? If you're such a representation of someone who is wrong or bad or not thinking the same ways as them. Interesting. So this could be somebody around somebody, you know, or this could be someone that you guys know. I do believe that if someone is being influenced a certain way, unfortunately, they're attracted to that energy for a reason, and they have an element of that in them. And there is some kind of understanding here where you are meant to be around, or people who are very different from you are meant to be drawn to you so that they can learn from you. And this is exactly what's going on here in kind of a spiritual level. But that being said, you are triggering the heck you're triggering someone, okay? The heck out of someone. Plan on calling you soon. I admire how hard you work. Why did you leave? Wow, you're beautiful. I feel you are wife, husband material. I have a hard time communicating. I'm so jealous. And here's the tea, guys. This person deep down is jealous of you guys because you have a divine gift. And you are a true leader, teacher, mentor, healer. And you're not doing it for the fame or doing it for the clout. Like, the gifts you have or what you experience, or it's all under the energy of, I just want to help people. Like, and I'm just feeling these things, and I just have these gifts, and I don't really even know why, and I almost hate it. And yeah, that's kind of like I mean, I know my collective, I'm not speaking for you guys, but I know the difference between a spiritual narcissist versus like someone who's actually spiritual, because people who actually have these gifts like struggle with having them. They're not out here just flexing them out in the streets and stuff. Like, and I feel that there are people here that are just trying to prove to everybody that they are this great, smart, logical person. And it's just like the confidence that you guys have speaks for itself. So I feel like this is part of the message today, because maybe you guys do care about somebody who basically has left your life. But that being said, yes, they could be influenced by other people, but there's an aspect of them that is triggered by who and what you are, because they could still have some beliefs or mindsets that you contradict. And again, people should not have a whole identity crisis, whole tower moment, because they love or care about someone who is different than their expectations, or triggers them spiritually, or is powerful and they didn't expect, whatever the case is, right? But that being said, you know, certain people do because of their mentality. So, yeah, and that's where the narcissism is there, because if they were truly spiritual or in tune or understanding or right, they wouldn't be arguing these facts that they're trying to argue. They're not, or they wouldn't be at war with themselves. Some of you guys are at war with themselves more, but yeah. I also feel, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm going to take it a step further, and this is going to get weird, but you could have somebody here who's trying everything under the sun to influence you guys in a spiritual way, and it's not working. Like, there are people out there, believe it or not, men and women, you know, and I know a lot of you guys are aware of this, that use their spiritual energy to bend other people to their will, but that's not really what you're supposed to be doing. And so, again, you got someone triggered here because they cannot get you to bend any way they want to. Or maybe for some of you guys, yeah, whatever witchcraft or whatever the heck they're doing is not working too. And for some of you guys, that could be the case too as well. Some of you guys, you could have someone do that on your relationship or a situation in your life. But it's only going to work if that energy allows them for it to work. Again, things can happen in a sense where, yes, someone could get influenced or this or that. But at the same time, I do feel that whoever this person is, if they're going to break free out of this energy, they have to kind of acknowledge a darkness within themselves. So that's the tea that, we have today. I think that this person presents really well. So you don't see, you can see them as a victim of something, but I also feel like there's a narcissism here because it's almost like they are not acknowledging the fact that they are allowing certain things to go on that aren't good or aren't healthy. So really interesting and strange message for pile number oh my gosh, you guys, I'm stuck in my pick a card readings, but yeah, you guys should check them out. I did upload on that main channel that I had for a while. If you guys want to see that, for those that are from my first channel, I did upload over there too. What someone is feeling about you. I'm actually going to upload something like that on my Patreon too. Only $1 for me on Patreon. So if you guys do have someone on your mind and you like to pick a card or pick a number for them, you guys check out my main channel or my Patreon because yeah, maybe one of those piles are going to correlate with something going on here. Let's see. You are incompatible. They are draining. There's a past life connection. Yeah, gossip is affecting the connection. They are hating. Trust issues are affecting this connection. Okay. They are inspired by you. They are thinking about you. The angels support this connection. Okay. This connection needs boundaries. They are super jealous of you. Oh, man. Why do things have to be so complicated? But at the end of the day, yes, you guys are here to influence people in a positive way, right? And honestly, if this person can flip out of the dark side, like, they can really make a difference here in this world. And I think that that's kind of like what is going on here. So what does that have to do with you and your reputation? I feel for some of you, like, you feel like this person is being led away from you or influenced away from you. But in reality, I really truly think that, yes, they can have someone around that doesn't like them or this or that, but they got to face some of their darkness within themselves that even is feeding into this or being controlled by this, because they have some serious triggers when it comes to their relationship with you. And until they face that, they can't face you, basically. And I do think that, this could relate to some kind of enemy here that is spreading gossip about you guys. But I also feel like this could actually be somebody who knows somebody who's doing this, and they're listening to this person. And it's like, why are they listening to this person when they could be listening to you? And that's why I feel like there's some kind of resentment or jealousy they have of you, or there's some kind of like, yeah, there's some kind of animosity here where they don't want you to be right or more right than them, because it actually triggers them that you're right about this. And yeah, I have no idea why that is, but, and I do feel for some of you guys, it could be a spiritual warfare thing where they're being energetically influenced, or there's somebody here kind of pulling them a certain direction, a certain way. And for that, I always tell you guys, cord cut and pray for them, That's all I gotta say about that. But the more you elevate and grow and lead by example, the more, people are going to want to elevate and be in your energy. And there is an element here of somebody just needing to heal and see and walk away from things that they don't want to walk away from. I feel as well, guys, I'm going to do a side note here. There is somebody powerful. This is outside of your message. There is someone very powerful and influential, but not in a good way. But they're kind of like obsessed with you guys and kind of a fan of yours. And I'm not talking about I'm talking about like somebody who is somebody who does have some kind of pull or influence. And you may not know this, but this person could like you guys because they see themselves in you, and it's helping them kind of soften up or change up their perspective a little bit. Yeah, maybe this person has an element of that too. But I have to say, if somebody has somebody around them that really doesn't like you, that's obsessed with you guys, that wants to bring you down, that's influencing them, that person's low-key a fan of you guys too. What's going on here is that, like, the jealousy. Like, people are jealous of your spiritual gifts, your talents. They're looking at your social media and your ability to be your own person. And I also have to say, if this is like, say you're a feminine energy and this is a masculine energy that is being influenced by another masculine energy, they don't want to admit that they're weak and not a leader, that someone else is actually controlling them, or they're afraid to let somebody go. If you're truly as big and bad and powerful, then you could face the world alone without this bad influence or bad person around you, right? And I even feel for women out there too, or whatever, like, if this like feminine energy thinks that like she's so all powerful and almighty, then why does she need, you know, to be listening to this person or that person? You know, you guys know what I'm talking, you get what I'm saying here? There's an energy where you guys don't have this attachment to people or need to be validated, and it makes you super powerful, but it also makes you, you know, very triggering for a lot of people. So yeah, I'm kind of seeing you guys just not arguing, but actually just being in your power, and that kind of makes this person mad here, that there's nothing that they can say or do to bend you over to their will or their way of seeing things, because there's no clarity in that, there's no peace in that, there's no solution for you in that. Like, you guys know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like there's a situation here where you don't win when you go over this way. Like, you don't find peace in this situation, and they're not actually leading or manifesting you into something good. So someone could be wanting to be seen as some kind of powerful high priest, high priestess, something like that, a man of God, but they're not. And you see them for who they are, which is someone that's still struggling with these very earthly attachments, desires, weaknesses, need to be validated. So yeah, kudos on calling someone out, you know, because I feel like you must have, or there's just something about you guys just looking at them like, okay, sure, whatever you say. This person knows that you think of them as a bit of a joke, and they're like, I get all these people to respect me, but not this person. Sometimes you don't respect them. Is that you see that they could be better than what they are, or you know that they're a fraud for some of you guys. Yeah, so I feel for some of you that maybe you fear this person because they have some power influence, that either they're going to influence someone you care about away from you, or they have, or you have feared this person is going to use their power and influence to say something about you. But the truth is that they're not. Okay, if this is the person that if someone does have the power and influence, they're not going to say anything about you, because deep down they like and respect you, and deep down there is a kind of sense of knowing who and what you are and how divinely protected you are. Okay? And also, that being said, I do feel like if there is an energy that is influencing someone away from you, that is meant to be on your path, that's going to be taken care of, and it's up to really that individual now. That energy is kind of being relieved off of them to decide what they want to do with their situation with you, because no amount of energy or influence can keep apart people that are destined to be together, unless this person is choosing to not work on themselves. So there's somebody here who actually admires you and your work. And yeah, interesting. So why is this all coming together? I feel like there's just some kind of like energy surrounding some kind of gossip or negativity that was spoken about you that's being like rebuked, and it's being reversed. And it seems to be that a lot of people are turning in your favor right now. And not only that, if there was somebody here who does feel this way about you, and I think that there is somebody who's been watching you, you may fear this person retaliating against you, because you kind of know that they can if they wanted to, but they're not going to, because there's actually a kind of desire to be around you or work on their relationship with you, more than there's a desire to destroy you, which is the T here. And again, if there is someone around somebody who wants to destroy you, that's going to be like I said, rebuked, and that person is going to be taken out of this individual's life. Like, something is going to happen here, so don't stress it, guys. Especially if that person's using anything dark, like, you know, we're not going to say all that type of stuff, but we're also doing my prayers after this one, because I'm getting like, ooh, I'm a high priest, I'm high priestess energy going on here. It's like, okay, relax with those candles in your closet, like, chill out with that, you know. You need a Bible thrown at you. That's what I feel like. Okay, let's just get back to the you know, something that you could understand, because we just got an element of people talking about stuff they don't know about, preaching stuff that is just not true. And then we have an element here of also people not knowing what they're dealing with, which is you guys. So this is the T. You guys have the power here, okay? You're extremely powerful. You are extremely powerful to the point where people fear you. That's why they're speaking bad about you. That's why they are influencing others away from you. That's why they run away from you even. I think you had a situation where someone just ran away because you represent something that they just don't want to accept, that they could be wrong about something, or they could be wrong about their own life. They think you're magical. Someone does really like you here, but getting with you or back with you or whatever actually would destroy their reputation, not yours, okay? That's the T. Being around you is going to destroy their reputation, a false reputation that they have built for themselves. But it's already crumbling. People already see them for what they are. And they could be so much better than what they are if they turn around and start, turning back to God. Like they basically turn their back on God and their real purpose and use their powers and skills to manipulate people. And that's not very good, is it? And if they were actually, influenced to be like this, then still they're just as guilty, right? Because it's like, why, this is wrong. They play victim. They want to impress you. They are regretting something. They are obsessed with you. You are better off without them. Yeah, I think the main message here is that, if you have a situation going on like this, there's no need to worry about it, regardless of what way it resonates. And another thing I do want to say is that, somebody here is dabbling in the dark, whether it's, some things I said before, or, using God's word, in not the best ways, misinterpreting things on purpose and trying to lead people their direction, just to be right, or to be feeling in control, or to feel in power. So let's see. Yeah, I'm seeing fire signs here, earth sign as well. What else we have here? And I do believe, guys, if you truly feel like your person is a victim in this, there comes a time in their life where they need to become a woman up and man up and be like, okay, well, this is wrong. I'm not going to be influenced by these people anymore that are believing in and doing things that I don't align with, right? Because if this person's a good person, or they believe in doing the right thing, then why are they allowing all this stuff to go on around them that they know is not right? That's why I side-eye it. After a while, it's like, okay, you sit in this for so long until what? It doesn't serve you anymore. That's when these people are bad for you. You knew bad stuff was going on from the jump, and you refused to acknowledge it. So you're always actually going to stay at that level that you're at. And that's what I'm seeing here. Someone needs to realize that they were not the man or the woman they needed to be in their situation with you, and they decided to go with what was easy or fun or validated them. Yeah. So and I do feel like this could be a message about someone else in your life, but I also feel that there is somebody here, guys, who, interesting enough, you fear this person's an enemy of yours, but it's almost like they're a fan, and they're not going to retaliate against you because it would do more harm to them than it would do to you. Because of how much you're loved. I think they fear going against you because how much you guys are loved and protected. Whether it is, you got some kind of support around you online, or friendships, or family, or, that being said, God, because let's get real with this. Deep down, it does seem like these people here got spiritual gifts. So why are they fearing you so badly? I don't think you guys fear any of these people or these situations. Maybe you fear, a little drama, a little headache, a little evil eye, but you don't fear the way they fear you, because you're coming and giving them this revelation, giving them this, what's the word? I'm hearing deliverance, okay? Somebody's deliverance, okay? That's kind of what I'm hearing. All right. Oh, man. That's things that I channel, guys, okay? Things I do for love. And then I got to go cleanse after this one, okay? Things are getting too real. Success is guaranteed in you guys' life. Keep up the good work, guys. One step ahead. No matter what, you're always one step ahead. Remember, if these people think they're one step ahead because they're manipulative, or because they think they can manipulate magic or people, or they think they can always plan a way to figure out, how to outsmart you, this and that, but they're never one step ahead because God is always 10 steps ahead. God already sees everything, right? And you're not any steps ahead of anybody in your mind. You're just living, living and doing you. They are transforming. Oh, okay. Envy. Jeez. They are still watching. You are real. I told you, somebody's still watching, guys. Low-key a fan of you guys. They want it their way. Well, that's just not going to happen, There's somebody here that's envious of the fact that your way is the right way, and your way is the closer to the rightest way, okay? I'm not trying to gas no one's ego here, but they're dead wrong for this. They're dead wrong for the choices that they have made. They're dead wrong for the influences that they have followed or have influenced people the wrong way. They're dead wrong for that, and they need to stop doing it, and they don't want to admit that they are influencing people or being influenced to be bad. But yeah, no, but not. You guys know what I'm saying? They don't want to admit that they're going the wrong way here, okay? Like, they're not listening to the right messages. But again, I think that some of these people could be like, wow, I think God wants this for me, woo. But dang well that God doesn't want you to be doing X, Y, Z. Come on now, be honest with yourself. You have a high status. Definitely spiritually, guys, too, as well, and in society. I want to say that as well because, interesting enough, the main message here was that you guys have a very divinely protected reputation. So either it is well known that you are very loved and protected and people go to bat for you, or there's something very spiritual going on here where people are really fearing you on a different level right now because you're not able to be manipulated at all. Like, there was maybe a time in your life where you were maybe not as strong as where you're at now, or not as aware, where people may have been able to get in your mind or energy spiritually or mentally or whatever, but that's not happening anymore. Maybe you guys can feel under attack or stressed or anxiety, but you're not allowing people to decide for you how you feel about yourself, about the direction that you're going in, and you're not allowing people to make you question who you are. And it seems to be that every time these people have plotted something against you or done something against you, or anyone has, somehow you turn into something better for yourself and you learn the lesson. You snap out of it anyway. You're like, okay, wait, never mind. No, you're just trying to get in my head. Like, you're just trying to get in my wallet. You're just trying to get in my pants, right? Except for some of you guys, it could be about dating and relationships where, maybe somebody you care about is following the wrong advice and not being the best person, or preaching really bad advice to other people. And you're like, what is you doing? Or they went the wrong way in one way or another, or they're just preaching stuff. You're like, yo, can you get off of Facebook? I don't use Facebook, guys, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, you're just like, what are you doing? Like, can you not? Like, I'm just seeing, like, you guys have a high status here, and yeah, someone's gonna ask you out, okay? Guys, this is not the weirdest thing to be, like, super in tune, super spiritual, with all this stuff going on, but then living your everyday life and, like, having these spiritual dynamics play out in your relationships with people where sometimes it's not even to your mind. It's like not even like something like you feel it and you sense it, but it's not always right in front of you, like where you can see it in the physical world, but sometimes these energies are playing out in the spiritual world. So like, yeah, you guys could have very much someone around you that you were dating or talking to that literally was seething with envy, but at the same time wanted to be around you because they did love and care about you, but they're also seething with envy because you got this high spiritual status and they're jealous of it. And I want to say something as well, and I know I have my men here watching too, but men are wired to be competitive with other men, but also, just ancestrally speaking, like this could be another man here for my masculines out there watching. I really feel like that's what it is. Like you have some kind of, status spiritually in your community and respect to the people that they just can never have, and it pisses them off. But I also want to say too, some of this is like ancestral or generational, because my women out there, like you gotta like that, like men and women listen to you, and not people don't listen to this person like this, and it makes them pressed, okay? So someone's either breaking free of an energy like this in their life, or they are like this, and somehow their love for you is kind of breaking them out of it, because they're like, this person isn't even doing anything to me. Like, why are they making me so angry? Because they're talking about things that I don't agree with. Like, but so does everybody, like, at some point in their life. Why are they cutting for you so badly? Because you represent something that can actually change them, because they actually are hearing you and they're seeing you and they're acknowledging you. Whereas in the past, they may have thought they were so holier than thou, so much better than everybody else, that they didn't even acknowledge the opinions of the others. They didn't acknowledge the opinions of people that thought differently than them, or looked differently than them, or were different gender than them, or whatever, right? But with you, they're they do, like they're hearing you and they're like, oh my God, like why I don't even care if this person thinks, because your word is important for them to hear. And that being said, they can get a lot of people to care about them. Or I heard this individual that if they can't get people to agree with them, they get people riled up, you know? They like to get people riled up to disagree with them. Because they're feeding off of that dark energy that gives them power. And again, there could be people that are not spiritual but work with this energy. You know, I'm not trying to like, you know, put you guys on to this craziness, but if you know, you know. And you guys, a lot of you guys, you feel it and sense it. You don't need me to be preaching it, you know. I can't speak up for myself. Yeah, that's the truth. There's a difference between actually speaking up for yourself versus arguing with people that don't have like the tools to defend themselves, right? Or there's a difference between actually teaching and preaching versus being around people who agree with you all the time, so you feel right? Like pandering to an audience versus influencing one. And that's all I'm gonna say about that, right? I just think there's something going on here where somebody is deep in some kind of other world that you guys are not in, and there's a love going on here, a love-hate, but a love. And yeah. And for some of you, this could be somebody that you dated or you were friends with and you didn't even realize what was going on, because they actually took to you and loved being around you, but you made them seethe with envy because you're actually out here preaching the good word here. And yeah, what you do is in alignment with something higher and better, even if you can't put your finger on it. Oh my God, you guys know I talk all the way through in these videos and I don't edit. The only time I edit is when I accidentally slip a cuss word, which I did, and I'm trying to keep PG over here. But anyways, yeah, this could be someone here who knows every single right thing to say or do, or they could be very, you know, knowledgeable on spiritual things in one way or another, you know, depending on their world. But somehow you're right, because you're more actually in tune with that higher level energy that's giving you that direction, okay? So that's what I want to say here. So you could be in a situation where someone could be very spiritual, very influential, very convincing, but you're like, I'm going to stick with my gut on this one. Good, you know? And also, there is an element where you guys are your own teacher in your own right, and you have reached a status that someone else here hasn't, and that's always going to bother them no matter how much they love you and stuff like that. So you feel like somebody here is being drawn away from you and being influenced, but there is a wound in this person and some kind of thing that they need to fix and heal to see that it's an aspect of them too that loves to be like this, right? Because why would they sit in this energy if this is not who they truly are? And again, that's what makes you different. I mean, they are not like us. They're not like us. Okay, so it's like, yeah. Because like you guys always constantly break free and out of energies that are trying to control or manipulate you. But why can't this person see it if you're so smart, you know? Anyways, if you're always right? Then why are you wrong here? Why are you not in? And this is sometimes a situation with people where they need help from you and they're not even in a good place, but somehow, you know, that's why I feel like if sometimes people come in all flashy and say a bunch of stuff and disappear, usually it's because they can't present what they actually are trying to show you. And sometimes people got to go deeper into being lost in order to have that breaking point. And I think you got a few energies here that are doing that. And yeah, and I think that, again, you guys are doing a good thing here. Keep up the good work. Noticing your growth, running away to avoid accountability. What did I say? Lust. And again, this is a romantic connection. Of course, this person's still going to come towards you because they're so attracted to you and your power and your knowledge and your wisdom. And deep down, there is an element of this person looking up to you. But that is extremely triggering for them and humbling for them, because we got somebody here who thinks that you should be basically doing that to them, and you're not, because you're like, okay, sure. I mean, I really don't feel like you guys are doing or saying anything to make this person feel like that you don't look up to them or respect them. I'm sure if this is someone you love and care about, you do. But I'm just saying that there is there's an element of you guys just being at peace with yourself and just being in this like this emperor energy. I don't care if you're a guy or a girl, you're in your emperor energy. You're like, okay, it doesn't rock you what other people are saying or doing anymore, because you know that you can only control what you can control, and people around you can't control them, and you don't want to control them. And that's what I'm saying. You guys don't work in the same energy. Even though someone may have power and influence in one way or another, you're not working with the same energy here. Your energy is, I'm gonna lead by example and influence people to be the best selves. Not, I want to be right. I want you to hear me now. this is bad, this is bad. You know, no, you're like, okay, let's just heal. You know, all right. No, I seriously feel like somebody was trying to trigger you guys and you laughed in their face. Like you thought it was funny, like, because you just see that they have idiocracy and their mentality. You're like, nah, you can't be serious. You serious? Okay. And there's a comfortability in yourself and your status and who you are as a person. And you know that, like, you know, God and your angels are probably laughing up there with you at this person because they can, you know, argue till their face is red, but it's not going to make you guys change your mind on who you are or make you guys feel lesser than who you are either. So yeah, you could have somebody trying to preach to you guys and you're like not hearing it and you're over even listening. You know, that's the message I have for you guys today. But again, there's a situation here where you're like, okay, if you don't like me and you don't agree with me, then just leave me alone, you know. But they don't want to because they're fascinated by you. So, and this is also some of you guys who have some enemies out there. Like, why can't they look away? Because if they truly don't agree with you or they truly don't like you, then why are they still watching? It's because there's an element that they love and respect about you guys. That's the T. And I think that also if this person has someone around them that is doing this, it's because that person does have some kind of energy of infatuation with you, even if you barely know this individual. So my intentions are pure. I don't feel ready. Okay. I will be back. I'm frustrated with you. Your purpose is way higher than theirs and they know it. Toxic third party. Yeah. So, George, can you move? So, yeah, that's the message I have for you guys today. You guys are jumping timelines. Look at that. You're elevating super fast. We got somebody here who I feel for some of you, if they truly believe their intentions are pure and they're right, there's going to be a moment where they're going to see the truth and they're going to have to decide for themselves if this is who they truly want to be in this world, okay? Because, again, you can only be influenced by someone for so long until you decide, okay, there's something really wrong here going on. And again, if some of you guys really feel like someone is being influenced, whether it's spiritually or brainwashing or conditioning, just keep praying for them, guys. There's nothing your words can do if you've already spoken it. Just keep, especially if you already spoke your truth. If you got to speak it once, of course. I never say, you know, silence yourself. But that being said, I think that this is a time to pray to you know, for that person from afar. Keep doing you, keep leading by example, keep strengthening your purpose here. And that's it. I don't know if you guys hear those sirens, but it's like someone's going to have to learn the hard way that they can't just keep going on in this direction. But what do you have to do with this? You're representing some kind of shift or change. You are some sort of pivotal trigger point in this person's ego death. Sorry, guys. That's a tough place to be because you get that what's the word? Like I said, the backlash energy of someone being triggered. So yeah, it could be somebody you guys love here, but you're like, what? You're thinking all the wrong ways, sir. This is not right. Okay. Or ma'am. Right? Because some of you guys, it could be a parent figure or a friend, a female friend. They're trying to help out of a bad situation, but they have the wrong idea. I also feel for some of you guys, like this could be a friend too that like claims to be spiritual or believe in God, but they're putting like a man before that, or you know what I'm talking about. Like they're putting like someone else's opinion over that or whatever, guys. It doesn't have to be just romantic, but I see that there is an energy in the spiritual world that this person is being worked on and working on it because there is some potential for growth and change here. But what is the answer here, guys? Just keep it moving, please, because like I think that you know who this is and you're not too interested in going back and forth with this person anymore, or because it honestly seems confusing. And I also feel that there is a lot of like hypocrisy or inconsistencies with things this person is saying and doing, and it's just like you just want to have a logical, reasonable conversation, but you're going to be incapable of that with someone that doesn't want to grow or see your truth right now. So again, just keep leading by example and shining. You may have some moments of breakthrough here, but I would, stay away from this until the energy seems to be more cleared and clarity. This person can come to you with actual clarity. And I feel for some of you, I'm not going to lie to you guys about it. Like, this could also just be someone who's not in their power. So no matter what it is, there's always going to be someone or something that is their reasoning for why you guys can't be together or be closer, or there's going to be some distance between you guys until this person can get that together. It doesn't even have to always be one specific person or situation leading them. It could just be the whole way they live their life is based upon other people's feelings, validations, and them not having a true core sense of self. But I do feel this is a spiritual message that this person probably should build a relationship with God, and a real one, but if they're already kind of far deep into spiritual narcissism, then they need to kind of actually do like self-love things and maybe even therapy or something. You know what I mean? Like, I do feel that sometimes people just only use spirituality as coping mechanisms for the things that they're struggling with. But either way, so this person can also be completely disconnected, almost like, doesn't believe in anything, but yet they're being influenced spiritually, and you're like, why don't they see it, Prayers for this person. So this is why you live rent-free in these people's minds. It's not really because they have the ability to destroy your reputation or will. It's actually because they have an obsession and admiration with you, and they're trying to work through these uncomfortable energies and emotions they feel towards you. That actually is what's going to be triggering them to change. And you guys represent that for them, and whatever you do with your life represents some kind of what's the word? It just disproves something that they truly believe about themselves or about the world, and that's going to vary depending on your situation. Deep down, you do have the respect of the people, guys. Okay, they're inspired by you. Your biggest enemies are gonna be your biggest fans sometimes, I swear. And sometimes, yeah, you are sleeping with the enemy as well, and that's the truth. Because this person hates the fact that they can't be in your shoes. Instead of listening to you, they go against you or follow things that aren't even remotely related to what's gonna help them, because they want to be the right one, or they want to figure it out on their own. Okay, well then do that then and see how far that gets you. And I think a lot of you guys in some of these situations, you're not really offering anything to this person other than advice or friendship, because you don't really need to be with them or anything. You don't really need them to love you or anything. You need them to see, you want them to see a truth here more than anything else, so that they can grow and hopefully, be the person that God has called them to be, because God has called, a few people in these situations to make a change. And the reason why I'm saying third party and stuff, everyone involved is being called to change in this situation. Every single person involved is being called to change. Whether it's somebody with a lot of followers, and all their people that are following nonsense, whether it is somebody, a narcissist person, and all the people that they convinced of this crazy stuff, whether it's somebody you dated and a third party that hate you and are teamed up against you and convinced that you're the bad person, whatever it is, they all have something to learn here, okay? And nobody here is the innocent one, because all these people are not listening to what is right, because they want to be right so badly. And and the only thing I say to that is goodbye, for now, and let them work on it. Leave them all with their BS and their garbage and their mess, because where you're going, the sun is shining, guys. Okay, even if it doesn't feel like it. Again, some of these experiences you guys have gone through, the pain, discomfort, that's all of that is the change that everyone has to do, but you're coming out of it, while people choose to stay stuck in the same cycles and ego, where they get that short-term validation of feeling empowered, but then things start to go really wrong. So there's been kind of shift going on here, where someone chose the wrong way and everything went well for them in their eyes, which is easier to go back to patterns. That's not well, but let's just level with them for a second. And you guys chose to make a change, or were forced to. Thank you, God, because you surrendered God and God's plan. Even though you don't want to, you're like, here we go. But here you go. You went to the struggle of it, and it wasn't easy to face the reality, but you're going to be coming out of this on top, guys. Actually, you always have, but I think that sometimes you guys may not see it that way, because you think that you are struggling while these people are just getting away with doing whatever to you, but the truth is that they are so uncomfortable and happy with themselves that why are they even directing that energy towards you? All that work that they've done, they could have been doing on themselves. So they played themselves, because you are divinely protected, okay? So that's the end of the message today. I do hope you guys like it. Up all night thinking about you. Of course you are, okay? Keep going, okay? So again, some of the anger, hurt, frustration, discomfort, that's other people's energies, karma. Some of you guys are experiencing big shifts right now where you're releasing this. And sometimes we got to acknowledge the truth about somebody to release them. And I think you're being shown something about this person, like that is going to help you kind of release them and be like, all right, like you're going to lose attraction to this situation, because you're no longer seeing them in the light you used to. Whether it was someone you feared and you realize, they're just lost, they ain't doing nothing to me anymore. Or someone you loved and you're like, well, they're a dang fool, so why the heck do I even want to be with them anymore? Like, come on, like, like you're going to laugh at them, and you're getting to that point already. And I think that's why certain people are running away or avoiding you now, because they got to come back as a real emperor or empress for you to actually be impressed. You're like, nah, not impressed, sorry. Okay, so jealous friend. Could be a jealous friend of you guys too. Someone's trying to get you to reach out to them. Yeah, I feel like you don't be baited, guys, you know, because I think a lot of these situations like are meant to distract you from continuing to lead and shine. Throw the whole man/woman away, okay? You heard the cards. Throw them away for now, you know, or forever, no. But anyway, this is the message I have for you guys today, okay? I do hope you like it. Or someone needs to throw the whole man and woman away from their life if it's a friend or family member, somebody you care about, that keeps going back to something that just isn't for them. Someone's obsessed. You were in my dream. Interesting. Someone you could have dreamt about too. I can't believe you cut me off. Yeah, this person could have abruptly cut you off or you cut them off. Doesn't matter though, okay? New opportunities, new situations are on the way. I think the main message is that no one can truly pull you away from what's meant for you. No one's going to be destroying your reputation. If you did meet somebody who is capable of hurting you or has on a grand scale, all that's coming back around to them. You guys are entering your good season. And I think that some of the shifts you're feeling are these people kind of going through their transformation they need to, because even the people that are against us sometimes are drawn to us for a spiritual reason, and let's just pay them no mind. And that's what you're doing. These people perceive you guys as laughing at them, not because you are laughing at them. It's because you can't do anything but laugh when they try you, and you're like, okay, but you don't really actually, like, you may even feel for these people. Like, you're like, there's nothing funny about this what you're doing here, but they can almost feel and see you laughing at them, because because you're in your power. You're like, you're a joke, you know? What you're doing is a joke. That's how you make these people feel, because that's the truth. That's the truth here. Like, honestly, I don't think you guys are saying that to them, but that's the truth. Like, they're a joke, and they know it because they can't even practice what they preach, okay? So that's the message I have for you guys today. Your reputation is divinely protected. No one can say nothing about you, because look at where they're at. And I think all these people have a worse reputation than you, believe it or not. Even if they have people around them kissing their butt, like, there's a lot of people out there that are basically not a big fan of the things these people are saying and doing, and they've done it to themselves because they're operating from arrogance. And I do think there's a few people around that, you know, you feel like could be pulling someone else away from you or somebody. But again, if they can't face that person as an enemy, you know, in their own life or of you, and they want to team up with that ideology or whatever there is going on there, then that's something they're comfortable with until they got to change. And I do feel like they you know, they're working on it. So that's the message I have for you guys today. But right now, keep doing you guys. I will try harder if you pull back your energy. You are missed. You left them speechless. They are projecting because growth and self-awareness is too hard. See, guys? So, yeah, pull back your energy. That's your advice. It typically is the advice here. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay? I do hope you guys like that message. And you guys just stay away from drama, all right? I'll see you guys all next time. Bye!